People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going
it's
on around there.
It's a lot. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
In the world of women's basketball, there are few names as iconic as Sue Bird and Sheryl Swoopes. Both of these legends have defined the history of the WNBA in their own right.
What kind of things do you feel?
I'm not in the locker room.
Okay.
But I'm talking about more social media.
Okay. It's a turn.
Right?
It's a turn, right? It's really a turn of the tides.
Well,
right.
Gil, here's my point. The beginning of the year, right, everybody saw.
While Sue Bird has recently retired after a legendary 19-year career with the Seattle Storm, Sheryl Swoopes remains one of the most celebrated figures in the league's early years. As the WNBA continues to evolve, there is one topic that everyone is buzzing about: the new generation of stars, including Caitlin Clark.
They do, peeps. Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever,
the
locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
Recently opened up in an interview about the state of the league, why she's excited for the future of women's basketball, and how players like Caitlin Clark will shape the WNBA's trajectory. Sue Bird's legacy and the changing WNBA landscape.
So that takes us to Indiana, which I think everyone agrees right now has gone from, a team that made the playoffs last year, lost in the first round. They were building all these young pieces, of course, Caitlin Clark, to now an immediate contender with all the moves that they've made.
After announcing her retirement at the end of the 2022 WNBA season, Sue Bird leaves behind a legendary career as one of the most decorated players in WNBA history. Over her 19 seasons with the Seattle Storm,
I think Natasha Howard certainly stands out. I loved playing with Tosh.
But you cannot say enough
I cannot say enough about Tosh. I really enjoyed playing with her. I think she really is she's just this glue player that doesn't get enough shine for what she does, because a lot of what she does doesn't show up in the box score, but she just is like always in the right place at the right time. And a player like that, I think, complements what Indiana is building.
Bird accumulated 4 WNBA championships, 12 All-Star selections, 5 Olympic gold medals, and 3 All-WNBA first-team honors. Bird was known for her incredible basketball IQ, playmaking ability, and leadership on and off the court.
So Sue Bird is one of the greatest point guards of all time in the WNBA. And she's someone who obviously is a part owner in the Seattle Storm. So hyping up another team is a bit of a conflict of interest, if we're being honest.
She played a pivotal role in the Storm's success and in the growth of women's basketball. In a 2023 interview, Bird reflected on the evolution of the game and discussed how important it is to continue developing and uplifting the next generation of players. It's amazing to see how much the league has grown.
They obviously, through trade, added Sophie Cunningham, a player that, I would say a 3-and-D type player who has been to the finals, so has that playoff experience. She's also just tough. She's mentally tough. She's physically tough. She brings an edge to them. And then last but not least, they added DeWanna Bonner, which really I think is the one that for most people took it to another level. So now you're like, oh, they're a contender.
The talent level, the interest, the support, it's all at a point now where we can look forward to a bright future. And Caitlin Clark is a huge part of that, Bird said. Caitlin Clark, the future of women's basketball. Caitlin Clark, a University of Iowa star, has taken college basketball by storm with her scoring ability, vision.
The biggest part of DB joining this team is that she's already played for Steph. So I think that's going to help bridge the gap, because as we go along, we're going to talk about Vegas and Seattle, Atlanta. It's really going to be which
Stephanie
team.
White being the head coach.
Thank you.
Was the head coach of Connecticut, now the head coach of Indiana.
Yeah. So it's really going to be the team that finds their chemistry. This season is short. I mean, they're adding games, but it's still pretty short
Still
season.
short, yeah, still short.
And it's
Still
going to
just
be the
summer.
team that finds chemistry. So having Stephanie White there, having already coached DB, really does help.
And leadership. Her 2023 NCAA tournament run, in which she led the Iowa Hawkeyes to the national championship game, made her a household name. Clark was named Naismith College Player of the Year in 2023 after averaging 27.6 points and 8 assists per game during the season, while also setting numerous NCAA records, including for most three-pointers made in a season. Caitlin Clark's ability to shoot from deep range,
Kelsey Mitchell's balling, Caitlin continuing to impress, and she's going to break records nonstop for the next couple years.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a constant record.
handle the ball, and facilitate offense has been compared to some of the best male players in the game, including Steph Curry. Clark's game is built around spacing, shooting, and high basketball IQ, which makes her an ideal fit for the modern WNBA. Despite concerns from some analysts about whether Clark's game will translate to the professional level, Bird is confident in her future success.
With that being said, you big dummies, you getting paid now.
Right.
Everybody
do
now
with it.
has an opportunity to pull up their chair and have a seat.
People forget how much Caitlin Clark has done already at the college level. Bird explained, she's already facing some of the toughest competition. When she steps into the WNBA, she will have the opportunity to take her game to even higher levels. She's going to be a force. The anticipation for Clark's entry into the 2024 WNBA draft is palpable.
There's something about the way she plays the game, her passing, her shooting, that people really identify with. So I really feel like we're poised and we're set up for a great, successful next era of FIBA basketball.
With many teams hoping to land the talented guard, she is widely expected to be the top overall pick.
Three WNBA MVPs in your career. Would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
I can't. Bro, Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
Sheryl Swoopes, WNBA pioneer. Sheryl Swoopes, a 3-time WNBA MVP and 4-time WNBA champion, is widely considered one of the greatest players in WNBA history. She was the first player to be signed to the WNBA when the league was founded in 1997 and is regarded as the face of the Houston Comets, who won the first 4 WNBA championships from 1997 to 2000.
To you about the experience, the champions that have been added to this point.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what everybody talked about when we were in the playoffs last year of, we really didn't have much experience at all playing in playoff games. I don't know what the exact number was, but we really lacked in that area. So just adding pieces of, players that have been in this league, they know what it takes to win. They know what it takes to get to the finals. They know what it takes to win championships. I think it's exactly what we needed in our locker room. So it's just exciting, but also they're not only really good basketball players, they're really great leaders and really great people. And I know the front office obviously really prioritized that and looking for the pieces that we wanted to add. So really thankful for that as well.
While Swoopes has not been actively involved in recent WNBA discussions or developments, her impact on the league cannot be overstated. She was a dominant force in the early years of the league, winning 3 MVP awards, 2000, 2002, 2003, and being named to 4 all WNBA first teams. Her leadership and on-court success played a major role in shaping the future of women's basketball in the U.S. The Indiana Fever's rebuilding effort. The Indiana Fever have been in a rebuilding phase for several seasons, but the 2024 season shows promise with the acquisition of several talented players. One of the standout additions for the Fever is Aaliyah Boston.
Sydney Colson is joining the Indiana Fever. What does that mean? Indiana is just being so greedy right now. They took DB, they took Natasha. Now they got Sydney Colson. Why would they take Sydney from us?
The 2023 NCAA Player of the Year and consensus #1 pick in the 2023 WNBA Draft. Boston is an outstanding forward from the University of South Carolina, where she led her team to a national championship in 2022 and earned numerous accolades for her dominance in the paint and on defense. Along with Boston, Nalisa Smith is emerging as one of the Fever's key players after a strong rookie season in 2022. Smith was drafted by the Fever with the number 2nd overall pick and has quickly become one of the league's most exciting young players. The Fever also added veteran leadership in Sydney Colson, a seasoned point guard known for her defense and basketball IQ. Coulson, who played for the Las Vegas Aces, and Atlanta Dream is expected to mentor the younger players on the team and provide guidance as the Fever continue their rebuild. With these fresh faces and young talent, the Fever are hoping to improve upon their 2023 performance, where they finished with a 14-22 record. But Bird believes that the Fever's future is bright.
I think Caitlin Clark is at that ascension point where she's going to be top of the MVP race. We're going to talk about her in terms of stat leaders later, but the way that the Indiana Fever just made a statement around Caitlin Clark and said, like, hey, we're pushing in the chips. We're ready to win now. And Duana Bonner's obviously, the face of the new pieces that have come in. So obviously that's going to be the biggest needle mover in what Drew said. The market has obviously reflected.
The WNBA continues to evolve, and with players like Caitlin Clark entering the league, the future is looking brighter than ever. Sue Bird has certainly left her mark on the league, but her words about the next generation of talent will inspire both fans and players alike. For more updates on Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, the Indiana Fever, and the 2024 WNBA season, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the action. Thank you for joining us, and stay tuned for more in-depth analysis and coverage.